You're watching the Coaches Roundtable on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel. Welcome, Coaches Roundtable. I'm Ed Codi. To my right, the Swami, George Abraham. To my left, the Tiger, Albert Campman. Guys, we're in the last regular week of high school basketball. And then
Last week, huh?
Last week. Some teams have games on Monday.
Yeah, you're right.
And then the committee will meet all over the different districts, and the playoffs will start. I'm going to say somewhere around February 12th or 13th, the playoffs should be underway.
Hey, George, you're always up on District 10. They don't. They're not done.
No.
Yes. Okay.
They have fewer teams in, so they have to start as early.
Because we have people watching our audience on District 10 too. That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Yes.
Let's go to our spotlight. Basketball top scorers, boys. Mike Wells of Newcastle, 33. Justin Rowley of Summit Academy, 26 and 22. Devin Carney of Butler, 24. Noah Vaughn of Beaver Falls, 24. Cole Brooks of Seneca Valley, 24. Michael Carmody of Mars, 23. Kyle Poles of Pine Ridge, 22. Ethan Morton of Butler, 22. Levi Orton, AC Valley, 22. Scott Frazier of Knock, 21. Nathan Shiro, Riverside, 21. Joey Kraska of Mars, 21. Kevin Kolosar of Riverside, 20. And Jake Scheit of Knock, he also had 20. For the girls, Kylie Lewandowski of North Catholic, she had 26. Kristen Auville of Montauk, 26. Maddie Carshute, Seneca Valley, 22. Ashlyn Pry of Montauk, 22. Lizzie Grosh, North Allegheny, 21. Bella Playa of Mars, 21. Sydney Shemansky of Freeport, 20. Madeline Boyer of Knock, 20. And in high school wrestling, WPIAL AAA Championship, Waynesburg nosed out Seneca Valley 33-30. And Seneca in the semifinals, what a match they had. They nosed out Cannon Mac 31-30. It's the second straight year the Raiders have finished second in the WPIAL. Next up for Seneca Valley, 15-2. First round PIAA tournament this week versus State College. Indoor track, Butler's Tim Patterson broke his own school record in the 3,200 meters, 9:42.25. And Butler's 4x800 relay team broke the 1998 school indoor record. That team is Sage Vavro, Ryan Criley, Alex Karenbauer, and Guinness Brown. In college basketball, the Grove City women now 17-2, 9-2 in the President Athletic Conference. It's the best start in school history. They beat Bethany 81-42 behind senior forward Kate Belcom's 19 points. He now has 1,302 career points. Grove City men 75, Bethany 66. The 8th straight win for Grove City. James Wells 14 points, went over 1,000 in his career. Grove City 12-7, 9-2 in the conference. And the Westminster women 17-3, 10-1, 76-72 over Waynesburg. Caleb Bennett and Cameron Hegenrather both had 17 points. Westminster, they're on top of the conference. They're at 10-1, tied with St. Vincent 10-1,
right.
And then Grove City 9-2, and they're going to have a match here later this month.
This will be at West Mini.
It'll be at Westminster,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And the Westminster men 12-8, 7-4. They got 29 points from Dylan O'Hara in a 73-58 win over Waynesburg. And I want to mention that Rachel Martindale, our two-time Girls Athlete of the Year at Akron, she suffered another ACL tear and will miss the season in the same knee that she injured 2 years ago against Peters Township.
She has so much guts too, and she just keep fighting back.
Yeah,
this will be a tough one.
And she was doing well. She was off to a good start with Akron. Basketball power rankings, boys 6A, Butler, followed by undefeated Fox Chapel, Mount Lebanon, Upper St. Clair, Pine, Richland. Butler, a game that we did, 68-63 over Pine Ridge, and it went right down to the wire, 64-63 with 48 seconds left. There have been two great battles between these two teams. Pine Richland, they're our fifth-ranked team. They have 6 losses, 5 of them by a total of about 21 points.
I watched it, and it's going to be interesting when they play Fox Chapel. The tempo,
Styles.
Yes, and just watching Kearney and Morton, they average about 45, 46 points a game. As far as I'm concerned, I haven't seen them all, but I'd like to know if there's a better backcourt duo than these two. And Kearney, he can make a shot from every angle. We've seen him.
He's dangerous because he can get his
hang
own.
in the air.
Yeah, he could be covered and still make it.
And Morton becomes the first Butler player to score 2,000 points. Kearney has a chance to become the second. He's only a sophomore.
What's interesting, I watched the game because I want to see you guys and listen to you. Morton's the best passer I've seen in the last 10 years.
Oh, yeah.
That's what he
Huggins
does.
said that.
He makes everybody else so much better
right.
around him. He's a tremendous passer.
Well, you nailed it. And then the other night, he had to bang a few threes.
He made them, yes.
But he made
Net.
4 of them that night.
Net. I mean, the net never moved. Then in that 1-point game, he had that scoop. That was a big basket.
When he takes off and drives down the lane, determined, it's hard to stop
And I'll
him.
tell you, those other 3 guys, Al,
They can shoot it.
they're adequate
can
for
shoot it.
sure.
Yeah, you have that 1-2 punch. To stop both of them in one night, I don't know if any team can do
That'd
that.
be hard.
Pretty hard.
They're not going to stop him. It depends on Butler's defense.
Yeah, it's so bad.
That's it.
Yeah.
Let's go to 5A, Char Valley, followed by Penn Hills, Mars, Shaler, and McKeesport. In 4A, Knock and Highlands actually tied for first. They split home games. They're evenly matched, followed by Uniontown in third, Bell Vernon, and then Quaker Valley. And we move on to 3A, Lincoln Park, North Catholic, South Allegheny, 1901, Charleroi, and moving in New Washington. In 2A, it's Olsh, Stowe Rock, Springdale, Jeanette, and Brentwood. And in 1A, Vincentian, Bishop Canevin, Greensburg Central Catholic, Cornell, and Imani Christian. Now for the girls. In 6A, Bethel Park, followed by North Allegheny, Norwin. And they put a spanking on Norwin last week, beat them by 19 points.
That changes up and down, huh? That changes all the time.
It's a third different
Right.
number one we've had. Bethel Park was out, now they're back in.
Norwin's coming to play somebody this Saturday, like Kennedy or somebody.
Okay.
A good team, but not as large.
Non-conference matchup.
Yeah, I just saw it.
Mount Lebanon and Upper St. Clair in 5th. In 5A, Char Valley rolls along 21-0, followed by Woodland Hills, Trinity, Gateway, and Oakland Catholic. In 4A, North Catholic, Southmoreland undefeated 20-0, Central Valley, Blackhawk, and Knock. Knock moves in to number 5 all alone. They were in there before, tied with Freeport. They beat Freeport 53-52.
Ooh, that'd have been a great game to see.
And in 3A, Beaver and Mohawk, they keep changing spots here. You might as well say they're tied for first. Beaver winning the last one. They have split throughout this season, followed by Mohawk, Avonworth, Seton LaSalle, and South Park. In 2A, it's Sarah Catholic, Olsh, Bishop Canevin, the Alice School, and Southside Beaver. And in 1A, Rochester, undefeated West Green 20-0, Greensburg Central Catholic, Vincentian, and Clareton.
I saw Ulster beatable. They're really. I saw Laurel beat them.
Yeah, Vincentian, how good they are. They beat Lincoln Park by 13 points. Single A top team. Yeah, they'll be hard to beat.
Let's go to our stories of the week, and of course we start off with Super Bowl 54, Kansas City. Finally, after 50 years, they get their second Lombardi with a 31-20 win over San Francisco. Game started off kind of slow. It looked like a defensive battle that was going on there, and then the Chiefs erupted for 21 unanswered fourth quarter points. They were down 20-10. Mahomes was struggling, and then the play that changed the game, the third and was it 19, the Tariq Hill somehow miscue in the defensive secondary. He's all alone at the 15 of San Francisco, and instead of punting the ball away, they go in to make it a 20-17 game.
That was the game. I mean, that was the play, no question
Yes.
about it. Changed the whole complex of the game. They had a good pass rush. He just threw it up and hoped. The ball was up in the air for 10 seconds, but that's how open Hill was.
There had to be a miscoverage.
He ran that cut, and they couldn't keep up with his speed.
And I know someone was blaming Kyle Shanahan. I said, he didn't have anything to do with that play. You may question some of his calls, but he didn't have anything to do with
question.
that.
It had nothing to do with it.
That play changed the game around.
Yeah, the only thing I'm upset with Shanahan was before the half. You can't play not to lose, and you got to play to win. I think he told his team, we're just going to try to. You know,
Yeah.
they had minute 33 left with time. And he just said, "I'm going to sit on the ball." He happened to throw it on third down and get a lucky catch, but he really wasn't trying to score. And you know,
well, all three of us picked for San Francisco, but you have to feel good for Andy Reid.
I did.
He's lost some tough games. He finally gets this ring, and the best move he made in the offseason was hiring Steve Spagnuolo as his defensive coordinator. You know, before the Chiefs, when they had to score 35, 40 points almost every game to win, Spagnuolo greatly improved that defense.
yeah, he did. He really did. That's how they won that game, by the way. They're down 20-10. If you allow San Fran to score 2 more times, you aren't catching up.
They scored one more
stopped them
touchdown.
They
Yes.
stopped them dead in their tracks.
Good. And Mahomes, here we go. The talk already, and he's outstanding, exciting to watch. But now the talk: how many more Super Bowls he's going to win? We've heard that talk about Aaron Rodgers and Breeze.
Yeah, let's
it's
wait.
the NFL. Let's wait and see.
You
It's
know
not
why?
as easy.
You know what's coming? He's up for a big contract. And
it's like Prescott.
Well, you could, but I'm saying all these guys that got it, whether it be Green Bay, Detroit, Seattle, all the teams fell off after they gave all the money to the quarterback.
Yeah, you got to save it up someplace. So you can't sign good defensive players. You can't sign good offensive linemen. You got to go
And
weaker
they got
someplace.
offensive weapons they need to
They
keep.
said they're signed out. They're good.
Around them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I like the upside with the 49ers, a very, very young team,
Yeah.
very young players up on defense. They went from 4-12 to 14-2 into the Super Bowl. And in voting, Lamar Jackson, unanimous league MVP.
I thought he should have been.
Yes,
I thought he should have been.
and deserving. Now, we look at 2020. If you look at the AFC, you look at Kansas City, Baltimore, Tennessee, Buffalo, and New England. In the NFC, San Francisco, Seattle, Green Bay, Minnesota, the Saints, and Dallas. I really think Dallas is going to be a lot better with McCarthy in there as a coach. And the Steelers, 20-1 odds to win the Super Bowl.
Well, one thing we know for sure. All that talk means zero because San Fran was 3-13 last year,
Yeah.
and we sat here. So they would have never came up in our talk to go to the Super Bowl. So somebody's
Yeah, you don't know
somebody's
who
going
else.
to show up next year that we don't know about.
And Miami played well at the end of the year. You don't know about them.
Well, the team that I really like, and I hate saying it, is like George says, Oklahoma. I like Atlanta the way they finished the season. I thought Atlanta played tremendous football at the end, beat San Francisco. We'll see, but let's see if they can carry it on next year.
Yeah, I just think they need to get better on defense.
And they did.
Oh, yeah.
And they did at the end of the year, yes.
Hey guys, here's some news out of the NFL, the coming collective bargaining agreement. The players, they will agree, they've thrown this out, to a 17th game if the league will allow the players to use marijuana.
Set the trade-off.
Yeah.
What about the 17th game? That's the first cell
They're
vote.
dumbing down the drag test. They
Yeah,
really are.
yeah,
They're
yeah.
not going to test for it.
Right.
Yeah.
And colleges, like you said, there's certain colleges
Yeah,
that
yeah.
don't do it.
Some
They
do,
say
some
marijuana, they don't think well, it's legal. How many states now?
Yeah, it is kind of-
You know, it's,
yeah.
it's hard to.
But the only question is, if a player gets arrested
Sure.
for marijuana, the league, are you going to punish him when you say it's okay?
Yeah, exactly.
I'd say
Kind
no.
of like driving drunk.
I'd say no.
You're allowed to drink, but you can't drive.
Right.
Hall of Fame, Steelers safeties in the Hall of Fame. Troy Polamalu deserving. You just know what Tom Brady said. He's the one guy you had a plan for all the time. You come up the line of scrimmage, he was always looking for where Polamalu was, and he knew where everyone else on the defense was supposed to be.
I would say this about him: Hall of Fame guy. Jeez, he's so humble, so soft-spoken. Those guys are so rare in that game that I just appreciate him more.
Yeah, he's just an outstanding, humble individual.
How about his interview when he said that up until last year with the Steelers, he enjoyed every minute. He said last year I couldn't wait to get out because how the locker room changed with Bell and Brown. I mean, he said
Yeah, he had to
he
say
called it out. He called it out. It's like it is. He says those two guys took every positive away from the locker room.
Yeah.
Wasn't there an incident where Brown did something, disrespected Dick LeBeau?
Yeah.
And
Yes, he
Polamalu
screamed
said,
at him.
it's live now.
Yeah, he said he screamed at him. He said, "Cover that," or something, old man, or something.
Right.
And Palmer said, "That's it. Let's go."
That's what I'm saying.
He's,
Now,
No, it's
guys,
just the way he said it.
Yeah,
There's no way to
no
say
question.
it.
they're finding all these excuses for his behavior. You know, how about jerk?
Yes. Capital J.
Right
Capital
away,
E.
making that
Capital
jump.
R.
Same thing with Aaron Hernandez, who
Yeah.
killed a couple. Well, the concussions, please, come on. He was in these gangs and involved in this activity long before this.
Yes, he was.
Because all three of us are in the business of teaching. We all teachers. We understand second chances. He's taken it to 10 chances. He should have figured out the two. I got to change. He won't change.
No.
Well, here's the case. We talk about the Hall of Fame and coaches enter the case for George Seifert. He's not in. His record 204, 107 and 1, 65.5 winning percentage, 29 in the playoffs, 2 Super Bowl championships. You look at Cowher, he was 149-91, 61% winning percentage, 12 and 9 in the playoffs, 1 and 1 in Super Bowls. Jimmy Johnson, 9 years, Dallas and Miami, 89 and 68, 9 and 4 in the playoffs, 2 Super Bowl titles. Florey's record almost identical, a couple more wins. He's not in. And then not in, Mike Holmgren, 246 wins, 168 and 1, 3 Super Bowl appearances, and a championship in 95.
The Seifert one, I have a reason. It's like the old Pittsburgh Steelers one, when the players.
Too many.
It's too many players. They can't. Well, they gave Walsh all the credit. So Seifert gets very little credit following Walsh. They think, oh, he just did it because Walsh.
It's like Fanuc. He's getting in next. He just too many Steelers.
Yes.
Truth is, from listening to you, I put Seifert in.
Absolutely, 204, 107, and
66.
Holmgren.
I said it 2 shows ago.
246 wins. He's in the top 10.
And I thought
all
Flores
time in
would do
wins.
super. I mean, like Al said, you just know. But there has to be See, I think Cowher, once again, that fame he got being on TV ever since.
I don't think he's not a Hall of Fame.
I didn't either.
Seifert's a
Cowher's
quiet,
not
unassuming
Didn't he
guy.
lose 5 championship games?
Yeah, something like that.
He lost 4.
4. Okay.
He lost 4
Wow.
AFC championships.
At his own place.
And like Seifert's always been in the background, quiet. Holmgren's never been one to toot his own horn, and Florey's quiet. But these guys, you get on TV, they're always out there in front of everyone. And
The other guy, Van Gundy's like that. He's become a way better coach because he has a platform twice a week on
and Mark Jackson.
on the network. Yeah, he wasn't a great, just a good coach.
And Willie Wood, Hall of Fame defensive back for
How about that secondary?
Green Bay.
Utterly.
Died at age of 83. Had, I believe, the first interception in Super Bowl history. You know, he suffered for years and years from dementia.
Oh, did he?
Yes.
That's about the worst thing you could give a guy or give a family. Give a family.
Oh, it's just terrible. And you see this, quite a bit. When you look around, they've not done enough of this CTE stuff, but definitely some people have been affected.
And then there are so many different studies, and then there are other guys like Bednarik, who was a headbanger, and Ditka, and Gino Marchetti, who died a few months ago at age 91. Those guys weren't affected. So there must be something else there that's involved.
Well, I know one thing. It's part of the football lore, though, because they're into it big time. The rules are all changed because of one thing: safety. There's nothing else they look at anymore.
But
boxers.
The sad part is, it's not safety as much as fear of being sued for not being safe.
Okay.
It's a and the boxers. Let's face it.
Punch drunk.
What's the premise in boxing? Hitting the other guy in the head. I mean, in football, you can
Get him down
dress it up a little bit and say, well, he hit. What is the premise in boxing? Hitting the other guy.
This turn of the National Hockey League, the Pens 4 and the Caps 3. Goaltender Matt Murray, 29 saves. That tandem of Murray and all-star goalie Tristan Jarry. Jarry's number 2 in the National Hockey League with 2.16 goals against average. Good to have. I hear people say, well, I should trade one of them away. Absolutely not. I just keep both those guys. The Pens now, great hockey they've been playing with all the injuries they've had, Gensel and Crosby. Second place in the Metro, just 4 points behind the Caps. They've had a great run there, 17-4-1. And Crosby torments the Flyers again, as he's done his entire career, with the winning goal in overtime and another 4-3 win. I like the Pens are winning these close games.
They'll be a tough out because they're better defensively. They're better defensively this year.
I think they're playing the best hockey in the National Hockey League, and Sullivan's done a terrific job with the injuries that they've had and keeping it going. But you got Malkin healthy, leading with 50 points, Russ with 43. The injured Gensel had 43. But they're improved in both ways, offensively
really good, yes.
and defensively. Hey, high school football, the 2020 schedule is out. And in the WPIAL, here are some games. We can't give them all to you, but some games of local interest. You guys tell me what you think. Seneca Valley will be at Pine Richland in week 1. And then Seneca Valley will
That's the one school I'm never sure of, Seneca Valley. I think that they can anytime go have a great year because of the size of their school, or can they up their level to Pine Richland?
I think
I'm positive Pine
I think
Richland.
last year, you're right. I think last year, and if you ask Coach Butchley, it was a disappointing season.
Well, I know
for them.
it was.
Four and 6. The games that they lost, and as I've said before, we discussed here, losing that game to Central Catholic in the final 3 minutes,
Yes.
a game that they were winning 7-3. They never fully recovered from that game. They got 2 Division I offensive linemen. They had a nice quarterback, running backs. It's a mystery. We thought they would fight.
We all talked
right
about
down
it.
there at the end
And that game tells you how good they were. Central Catholic went on,
to win it.
and also go as far as they could. They almost beat St. Joe's Prep in the playoffs, and they had them beat the whole time. So you have to say that. Right?
That's that case of losing the same game twice. Mm-hmm. You get beat, and it just keeps you can't recover.
Right.
And then at the end of the year, they will be at North Allegheny.
Well, you know those are the same teams. You know those teams.
Yeah.
There's only 8 teams in 6A, so
There are only 4 teams in 6A. I mean, you're talking Central Catholic, North Allegheny, Pine Ridge, and Seneca Valley. Well, I'm throwing Mount
I
Lebanon
get it.
in.
I get it.
Mount Lebanon.
I got you.
Yeah.
So they have to play. It's a round robin tournament.
And I really look for Mount Lebanon and Palco's second year. I hear they had a great group of younger players.
He wouldn't have taken the job. They didn't.
No, they wouldn't have taken a job.
No.
And North Allegheny, the first 2 weeks are open for them. They're looking for teams, opponents for the first 2 weeks. So probably you're going to get some teams from Ohio again or from DC.
You know, I did.
Like
I got.
they
Two,
did before.
how about that? I forgot about that. I got 2 calls this week from ADs asking me if they can look for open dates because they can't find games. I never had that happen before to me ever.
Interesting.
Yes.
So they'll have to play some pretty good teams because other teams
Who wants
don't
to
want
play
to go. No one wants to play them. No one
You
wants to
read
go
about
there
NA, you know you're
and play
getting
them.
beat down.
And then Pine Richland, now dropping to 5A, they're going to play at 6A Central Catholic in a rematch of the title game.
Glad they did that. They kept that on a schedule. I like that.
And then
Well, did they choose that or is that WPIAL?
no,
name?
WPIAL.
Oh, okay.
WPIAL signed.
Okay.
And then they pick up some new opponents. They're going to play Seneca, but that's not new. Upper St. Clair, and then in place of North Allegheny, they get North Hills. So that rivalry with North Allegheny ends. And of course, North Hills' rivalry with North Allegheny ended when all those changes came a few years ago.
They've done that, and I don't think they're better off for it.
And
Wait a minute, I got to follow
yeah,
up
go
what
ahead.
Georgia said. I know they're not better off. How many times did we go to see North Hills, North Allegheny,
Yeah.
and the stands would be packed at 5 o'clock? They look forward to that. That geography thing is a big thing with the rivalries.
I could think I was fortunate enough to play at Butler,
Yeah,
coach
that's
at
right.
Butler against Newcastle, and then coach at NA when we played North
Think about
North
that.
Hills. And then when LeVar Arrington came, and it was for the conference championship, there had to be 10 or 11,000 there. Someone told me the 50-50 was over $4,000.
No question, and it's
It was
and the
exciting.
parents and the aunts and uncles and the community, they look forward to that all year. It was like Army Navy, it's just and now that's gone.
And then played them 2 weeks later at Mount Lebanon in the semifinal
It
game.
bothers me.
How about defending 5A champ Gateway? They have a non-conference schedule where they play Thomas Jefferson, Penn Hills, Bethel Park, and Pine Richland.
They can do it.
Well, they're capable.
They're
no
going to
question.
be loaded again.
Yeah, they're
That's Donnie Hall, isn't it?
Donnie Hall, he's
still-
won 2 WPIAL
Yes.
championships there, and arguably has the best
Is
player.
Davis back again?
It-
Is the Davis kid
Derek
back again?
Davis is back again, recruited by everybody.
So don't
Everybody.
He's one of those guys. That you think, how long has he been there? He's been there for forever.
4-year starter.
Yes.
Yeah, the kid at Penn Hills, what a place for the Eagles was like that. Seemed like he was at Woodland
Sanders,
Hills.
Miles Sanders.
Miles Sanders, Woodland Hills.
And
Seemed like he was there forever.
everyone from Ohio State to Alabama
Oh, yeah.
and Notre Dame, they all want him as a
Big time.
safety.
Big
Well,
time.
what's that?
But he could play both sides of the
Yes.
ball. And in 4A, we like this. Knock at Freeport. They played last year. Freeport pulled the upset. And then finally, after a long hiatus, Mars and Knock will hook up again. It'll be Mars at Knock
I like that.
in week 6.
Thanks, Eddie, for that. That's a good one.
We like that.
Yeah.
Now, in District 10, this is new to Butler and everyone who's followed Butler for years. Butler finally has their schedule for District 10. They will open up August 28th at home with Kiski. Kiski was 5-6 last year. Then September 4th they'll be at home with Erie. Erie High School was 3-7. September 11th at Meadville. Meadville was 7-4 last year. And then September the 18th, home with McDowell. McDowell was 9-2. September 25th, away at Brashear. Brashear was 1-7 last year. October the 2nd, away at Harbor Creek. Surprised to find out they were 10-1 last
They had
year.
a really good year last
Well,
year.
McDowell Prep and Erie playing them all at home means next year you go to all
They
three.
go to them. And then October the 9th, they're home against Westinghouse, 8-4. Two at Westinghouse. Two of their losses to University Prep. The only loss that Farrell suffered last year. And then October the 16th, home with Erie Cathedral Prep, 11-3. October the 23rd at Franklin, 2-8. October the 30th, Butler at Slippery Rock High School.
interesting.
The Rockets were 4-6 last year.
Yeah, they've been a little better. They'll have to be. I mean, that's a step up for them. I don't care.
There's a good mixture there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Of the
5
schedule.
teams
I
with
think they
losing
can do
records.
it.
You know,
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
capable of winning some of the games, and they're capable of no chance in others. Well, that's what it's supposed to be in high school. You know, you're
No chance.
no chance at any time. Yes,
I think they're going to be okay.
Yeah.
From hearing that, I think they're going to be okay.
right.
5 teams with losing records and 5 teams with winning records. So it's a 2-year deal. The schedule will reverse for next year. But the important thing is, with all of that, you still have to get the numbers out.
That's it. It's
You have to build a roster of at least 50 players and make sure you're playing your junior high and your JV schedules before you're going to make any move. And so I don't think they're going to rebuild that roster just overnight. And you would think in the 2-year period you have to win 8 to 10 games before you'd even think about coming back.
Kennedy's doing it
in
next
there.
year. They're playing varsity again. They shut it down for 4 or 5 years. Played a couple years of JV.
You know, you'll get more kids out, Eddie, if they, and I hate to say this, but it's true. If they happen to win 4 or 5 games, all of a sudden the kids feel better about going out for team. When you're 0 for every year,
Right.
I don't know how many years
They've
you've been
lost
0
20
for.
straight.
That's what I mean.
Four
It's hard.
winless seasons the last
If a kid has a
15
choice
years.
between playing basketball and playing football, I think I'm going to play basketball. You know, if you win some games, you got a chance.
Some interesting things with college football before we close. You know, the Big Ten has opted to let everyone have a 1-year free transfer without having to sit out a year. But for whatever reason, I don't understand why can't they do it. The NCAA has stepped in and said put a hold on that.
A lot of
I'm
poaching.
in favor.
A lot of poaching.
I'm in favor of it. I'm in favor of it, but just like they poach coaches, no one says to a coach, you're going to move from here to here, and you're going to accept the penalty. It doesn't happen. Contracts mean nothing. They've paid a huge amount of money for buyouts of many of these coaches who moved this past year.
Did you
Why
see
not
what
the
happened
players?
today? Michigan State. D'Antoni quit this after. They just gave him a $4.3 million. Now it isn't deposited till March. I wonder if they'll fight it.
Think they will?
He's quit.
It's a lot of money.
Well, they're under investigation.
Yeah, he quit today.
Oh, look out. Look out. You know where they're going to come after.
Narduzzi, I said
We
the same
heard
thing.
Fickle.
Narduzzi.
We heard Fickle.
Fickle
You
was
think
Cincinnati.
Fickle from Cincinnati?
I thought Narduzzi right away, too. I called Georgia.
I still think they'll reach out to Narduzzi. He had a.
He's got 2 things on at Michigan State: jobs for players' dads, and coaches
D'Antoni.
leaving campus that aren't allowed to leave.
Hey,
Going back to the poaching.
Yeah.
I'm on the other side of that for you. I think they should have stricter rules for the coaches, first of all.
Yes.
Okay. But do you understand what I would do after the game's over? If the second string quarterback, who I know is a flat 5-star, didn't play, I'd meet him at midfield if I was on the opposing team and say, hey, honey,
You start for us.
you come play for us.
Well,
I don't like that at
They're
all.
talking about
I don't like it.
one time.
I don't like it.
One-time deal. Hey, KJ Costello from Stanford, he's going to go and play at Mississippi
He
State.
picked the right place. Oh, he
Yeah.
picked the right place.
Pass
He was
it.
a 5-star coming out of high school. You never saw that because Stanford had such a lousy offense.
7 tight
Leach,
ends.
he'll be throwing that ball all
Yes.
over the field. Yes.
And another backup of Clemson is left.
Yeah, he's going
transferred.
to Duke.
That's to Duke, and that's the second Clemson quarterback in the last 2 years
He'll get another one coming in. There'll be another one, 5-star coming in next year.
Still haven't had word or heard word about Jacoby, who's put in to be eligible.
Oh, yeah, I'd like to hear that.
For
I'm
this year.
interested.
We're waiting to hear from that. That's it for us. We've run out of time. We'll see you next week.